I'm here live reporting from the Moneyberg garage with the hero, Gilbert Burns. Gilbert is 3-time world champion and 7-time national champion of Brazil. I want you to join us on a live training on July 16th. That's a Wednesday. Wednesday, July 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're going to walk you through the 10 Commandments of Wealth. We're going to do a live Q&A afterwards. It's going to help you develop any plan, any strategy specifically for you. Gilbert, what do you think they should do?
They're going to click on the link, get here, learn all the 10 things that they got to do.
Click that link right now.
All right, guys, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Derek Moneyberg. And I think that relationship started a couple of years ago. I said 3, maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, a little more maybe, yeah.
Yeah, in South Florida. So my coach, Henry Hoof, was the one that introduced us, got us to do a podcast. And on the podcast was kind of like more as an interview. And at the end of the interview, he paid me. And I just see so much value in that conversation that we had. And when we met each other in the podcast, it was an interview. We talk a lot about my experience. He talked a lot. He shared a lot about his experience with me. And then when he paid me, I just felt like, I learned so much in that conversation. I want to keep that relationship that I remember that I don't want to get paid, And then I was trying to make a deal. Hey, you know what? You don't need to pay me. Let's do something. And they know you have to get paid. You need to get this check. And I remember we started kind of talking a little bit about it. And then I said, okay, I took the check. I don't know if you remember, but I didn't want to make the deposit. And then I think after a couple of weeks, he texted me or he called me. And I said, hey, why didn't deposit the check? Why didn't cashier the check? And then I said, because I think, I want to start something with you. I want to get into, I think I can help you with jiu-jitsu, but I think you can help me a lot with my financial, give me a couple of tips and this and that. And then we almost fought at that time and said, make sure you cashier the check. And then we talk about it. So that's what I did. And then I think I can say that we become each other's mentor. I kind of try to help Derek a lot with his jiu-jitsu, with his fighting, with everything that I can help. He has a lot of great coaches already, such as Gordon Ryan, Claudio Gadea, Glover Teixeira, Leoro Machida, and many others, as Henry Hoof, Henry Cejudo, so many guys coming, Valentino Shevchenko. So every time that I come, I try to show him something to kind of elevate his game. But on the same time, I learned so much, I started doing real estate, stock marketing, and every entrepreneurship, everything that I learned, I try to apply to my life. So I think that's how we have that relationship. It's like if I have any question, any contract with the UFC, any big sponsorship, or any opportunity that come on my way, Derek is the first guy that come on my mind. If I want to sell the house, if I want to get another thing, if I see the marketing going crazy, the market is kind of all over. I want to buy an apartment, I want to invest here. Derek is my first guy that I'm going to call in and say, hey, it might be a stupid idea, but what do you think about that idea that I have? What do you think? You say, I think that's when we became each other mentor. He's mentoring me, helping me on my financial, on my future, my decisions with the money. And I'm being a friend to you. We are a friend aside of that. And I'm trying to help him on his growth from the martial arts, on his fighting style and getting better.
You helped me so much with MMA. Gilbert's one of the best MMA grapplers ever. And I learned so much from you. I learned 100 things that he tried to teach me, and I learned a few hundred more things that I don't even know that you're teaching me. But just moving together and talking about the strategies and philosophies and how to think about certain positions or certain concepts. And those are the biggest ones. All those little things are very valuable. But sometimes you put some ideas in my head about just big picture, strategy and application of those skills. And they help me so much. I got to fight a bunch of monsters every week over here. We're filming from my garage right now. I built a little studio in my garage that, but I have a combat center here. We call it the combat center. Paulie Malignaggi gave it that name. Paulie was my boxing coach for a long time. But yeah, we every week I got guys over here. They come lift the weights with me. All professional athletes, UFC champions and world champions. Various martial arts. So I pay attention to. I try to learn a few things from everybody, and I pay attention that. I got to defend myself against Frank Mir. I got to defend myself against little Mikey Musumeci, who's a small guy, but so talented, and he's so much faster than me and endless cardio. And, you got your hands full with either of those guys. So for some ways, it feels more natural for me to move around with a big guy like Frank Mir. Is like you know that you're going to fight a big fucking grizzly bear. You got to fight this big monster. And then Mikey is a different type of animal.
Different animal, yeah.
So you help me with, the range of those things of, what I'm in for. And, Jake Shields has been my primary MMA coach. I have my jiu-jitsu belts from. I have a brown belt right now. I got all my belts from Jake starting at white belt. You've been helping me since I was white belt. I have my black belt soon. I'm very proud of that I did that in a short period of time. But Hoist Gracie said, like, when I got my brown belt, I said, I only been training at that time, like 31 months from, day one till brown belt. Hoist said, it's not that you did 2.5 years of training. He said, you did 9 years of training in 2.5 years.
Yes.
And, when I think about it like that, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense, But you helped me so much with those little details. And I spent my life as a business guy. I spent my life thinking about, financial assets and building businesses, investing in businesses, investing in real estate. I spent 35 years thinking about that before you and I met, and I understand a lot of things about business that a normal person never would, So then you spent, 20 years thinking about jiu-jitsu before we met, and you helped me understand a lot of things at a very high level. So I very much appreciate your friendship and your guidance in that area. And a lot of the fighters ask me, I don't manage their money directly. I don't touch their money. I don't want to touch their money. But when they want advice about something, a lot of the fighters or even the managers reach out to me and ask, hey, what do you think about this, or what do you think I should do here, or what am I investing in right now? Questions like that. So. I always try to point them in the right direction or give them some frameworks as well of how to think about the decision that they're going to make, so they make the best decision for their circumstances,
Yes. Yes, and one thing that kind of like for me is very different than you do than regular people. Is one thing that kind of opened my eyes is you do martial arts as a hobby. That's what crazy to me. You do as a hobby, and if you guys don't know, he trains with Frank Mir, former UFC champion, Andrei Arlovski, former UFC champion, Valentina Shevchenko, current UFC champion, Henry Cejudo, former UFC champion. It's so many. Jay Shielder, Strikeforce champion, high level grappler, high level UFC fighter.
Just the champion people, just the UFC champions, is like Junior Dos Santos has been here as well. Henry Cejudo, Rich Franklin's here right now. Rich is my coach this week. You mentioned Arlovski, Frank. Let me look at the calendar, 'cause I'm going to forget somebody and they're going to be insulted.
Oh, there's so many guys.
But is 20 world champions.
Wow. Glover Teixeira, Alex
Lyoto
Pereira.
Machida, Alex Pereira has been here. Chuck Liddell.
Liddell, yeah.
Tito Ortiz. Mike Chandler was Bellator champion. He's been here.
Ang Lasang.
Yeah, Onga's a champion over his spot at one championship. So I mean, there's 20 world champions of different things, and you're a 3-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. Claudia, 3-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. Mikey Musumeci, 5-time at least world champion.
Gordon Ryan.
Gordon is King. Shout out to King Gordon Ryan. Humble as he is. Actually, a very humble person in real
Yeah.
life. You know, talk a little bit on the internet, but very humble guy.
Very
I
humble.
learned a lot from Gordon.
And what's crazy to me is this, that like the thing, like you're a businessman and you put so much effort in your hobby, in your jiu-jitsu, your martial arts, that sometimes I live here and I get back to the gym, go back to South Florida where I live, Kill Cliff, and sometimes a couple guys is putting let's try to let me not kill this guy. Let me try to be a little bit more nice. But they not put as much effort as you, and they are professional fighters. So that's one thing that drives me crazy. Even I get a lot of motivation for that. I say, man, that guy's not even a freaking fighter. He doesn't have a fight coming up. He has nothing in his schedule with the competition coming up as a fighter. He's not a high level fighter. He's not a UFC fighter, and he has a pretty full schedule. Like, if I want to schedule, we were just talking today that he got an invitation to go a very important place at that date, and he like, oh no, I already have this guy coming this week. So that's the level of commitment that he has with the thing that he's not even his main profession. It's not the thing that giving him a lot of money. It's not his main thing. He has that level of accountability with him, first of all, and with the guest that he's coming, with the fighter that is coming. So that's one thing that drives me like, wow. If he does the thing that is not the most important thing, is not the stocks, not your course, not you have that time, that real like commitment with the thing. I say like, wow, like I gotta step up my game. Every time that I come, I'm like, okay, these guys are working too hard, you know.
Success is not for everyone, and it may not be for you. But if you're doing well already, and you'd like to be doing even better, let us help. Gilbert Burns and I are going to do a live web training on Wednesday, July 16th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to walk you through what I call the 10 Commandments of Wealth. Remember when I said success is a lifestyle choice? If you're in a first world country, poverty is also a lifestyle choice. Choose wisely. Click that link. Join us now.